All right, let's talk Instagram. Today, we're cracking the code. We're going to dive into the science of why some posts are just, well, impossible to scroll past, all thanks to a really fascinating 2024 study.
You know that feeling, right? You're just casually scrolling and then bam, you're suddenly 10 minutes deep into some brand's feed, watching reel after reel. It's almost like a magnetic pull. So the big question is that by accident or is it by design?
Well, with over 1 billion people using Instagram every single month, I can tell you right now, it is definitely not an accident. Brands are in this all-out war for a slice of our attention, and they're using some very, very specific strategies to win it. So understanding what actually works is huge for them and pretty eye-opening for us.
So what's the secret sauce? What scientifically separates a post you forget in 2 seconds from one that really gets its hooks in you? A recent study from the International Journal of Data and Network Science set out to find exactly that, to figure out which types of content literally flip a switch in our brains.
Okay, so the researchers zeroed in on 6 specific types of content. You can think of these as the 6 main keys that brands are using to try and unlock our attention on Instagram. Let's break down exactly what they are. First up, we've got informative content. This one's pretty straightforward, right? It's the stuff that teaches you something new. Maybe it's a post about a product's features or a company's backstory, or just some helpful tips. It feeds that little part of our brain that's always curious and just wants to know stuff.
Next, there's entertaining content. And this is all about the feeling. We're talking funny memes, absolutely gorgeous travel photos, or just a silly video that makes you crack a smile. The point here isn't to teach you anything, it's to make you feel something good. The third key is a huge one, and it's all about authenticity. It's user-generated content, or UGC. This is literally anything made by regular people like you and me. Customer reviews, photos of somebody actually using a product, you name it. It feels more real, more trustworthy, because it's not coming straight from the slick marketing department.
Then we have sociability. This is the whole community-building piece of the puzzle. It's anything designed to get you to interact. You know, the polls and stories, the what do you think questions and captions, or any post that's meant to get a big debate going in the comments. Now for the techie one, augmented reality, or AR. The easiest way to think about this on Instagram? Filters. All those face filters that give you puppy ears or crazy sunglasses? AR basically plops a layer of digital stuff onto the real world, and it creates this super interactive, kind of playful experience. And last but not least, number 6 is trustworthiness. Now this one's a little different. It's not a single type of post, it's more of a vibe. It's your own personal gut check on a brand. Does their content feel honest? Do you believe what they're saying? It's all about whether you see them as credible. So, we have these 6 keys, right? But here's the thing. Just seeing them doesn't automatically do anything. The study looked at the crucial next step, the actual mechanism in our brains that takes us from seeing this content to actually being influenced by it. And that secret ingredient is something called cognitive engagement. It's basically a fancy term for how much a piece of content makes you think. It's the difference between your eyes just glazing over a post as you scroll and you actively stopping, paying attention, and really processing what you're seeing. Here's a super simple way to think about it. The content, all those posts and stories, that's the fuel. But without the engine of your cognitive engagement actually turning on, that fuel is totally useless. You're not going anywhere. So the whole goal is to start your mental engine. The real question is, which fuel works the best? And that, my friends, brings us to the big reveal. The researchers crunched the data from 292 users to see which one of these 6 keys was the absolute best at firing up that cognitive engine. So just take a guess. What do you think it was? Was it the super useful, informative stuff? The authentic posts from real users? Or maybe just the fun, entertaining content? Well, let's see what the data says. The results, wow. They showed a really clear power ranking. I mean, the impact on our brains wasn't even close across the board. Some of these keys are like rocket fuel for our minds, while others, well, they can barely get the engine to sputter. The winner had a massive impact score of 0.687. Now, in a scientific study, a score that high is considered substantial. This wasn't just a win, it was a total landslide victory. And the winner was augmented reality. Kind of surprising, right? But think about it. It makes you participate. It's interactive. It's immersive. You're not just watching something, you're doing something. Right behind that was the authenticity of user-generated content, and then that gut feeling of trustworthiness. And what was dead last? Sociability. Turns out, just asking people for a comment doesn't get the brain working nearly as hard as an experience you can actually be a part of.
But wait, why do brands care so much about making us think? Because thinking is just the first domino to fall. That little cognitive spark is designed to set off a chain reaction that leads to real action in the real world. The study pretty much confirmed this whole sequence. First, you see some really effective content, like a cool AR filter. That triggers your cognitive engagement. It makes you actively think. That thinking process then directly shapes how you feel about the brand, and ultimately, what you're likely to do next. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The researchers put it right in the paper. They said consumers' cognitive processing has a direct influence on their possible activities. In other words, what a brand makes you think directly changes what that brand can get you to do. It's that simple. Okay, let's put this all together. What does this actually mean for us, the people scrolling every day, and for the marketers who are trying to reach us? Why should you care about any of this? Here are the big takeaways. If you're a marketer, the message is crystal clear. If you want to grab attention, interactive tools like AR and authentic content from real users are your absolute best bets. And for the rest of us, it's a pretty powerful thing to know. The next time you're playing with a fun filter, you can see it for what it really is, a highly sophisticated tool designed to switch on your brain. Because at the end of the day, the goal is always to make you think. Because thinking is the gateway to making you feel and ultimately making you act. So the next time you open up that app and start scrolling, you'll basically have the secret code book. You'll be able to see the science behind the selfies, the strategy behind the stories. So the only real question is, now that you know how it all works, how will you see your own Instagram feed differently?